joined by Marcus Mosher. Got a little keyboard still playing in the background. Do you love it?
I love it. It's so good.
You know what I'm going to do?
Please don't sing.
Oh. No. No, I'm going to do that. My creepy mic. Yeah. You don't want me to sing Aaron Neville or Neil Diamond like I was? All right.
Not
I
particularly.
won't.
No, it's all right.
You want to pick some games?
I do. We got a full slate. We got 16 games this week for the first time in what, like 3 months? We got a lot.
We have a lot to get to. A couple of news items. One of which is just pretty generic. We were just talking offline about all the players that are out for COVID purposes. It really makes things challenging this week more than my mic volume does. Sorry, that was another inside dig. But also, the Urban Meyer news came out last night, really late. I was a little surprised at the timing, but do you have some thoughts on the Jacksonville situation, Urban Meyer? I do, but I'd like to hear yours.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had to go. There was really no benefit in keeping him the rest of the season. It's pretty clear that it was a toxic environment there. The players hated him. The coaches hated him. The benefit of keeping him around is what? Now you get a jump on your head coaching job. You can start interviewing guys, the day after the season ends. And it's really unfortunate. I didn't see the appeal to Urban Meyer at the beginning of the offseason. I didn't understand why the Jaguars were bringing him in. I think he's somebody who is just not cut out for the NFL. And I think we saw that play out. So I'm happy that the Jags did this, and I'm excited to see what's next.
I think when the Jaguars got Trevor Lawrence and brought in Urban Meyer, obviously they brought in Urban Meyer before they drafted Trevor Lawrence. Saad Khan said, it's a great time to be alive, something like that. And man, talk about going from one end to the other. As a kind of an ancillary note to this in terms of the news, the owners also voted at the NFL meetings, league meetings, that you could now spend the last couple of weeks of the season interviewing head coaches. Mm-hmm. So that makes a difference, Marcus. I think a big difference. I guess the concern was always what kind of distraction was that going to be? I know when Bill Parcells was talking to the Jets, the Patriots were trying to prepare for a Super Bowl, and there was a little bit of bad stuff that happened there between the staff. I think that might have created a rift between Belichick and Parcells. I don't remember all the details of that story, but those are the kinds of things I think the league has been trying to avoid. Do you like this move?
I do. I kind of wish they could just talk to him all season long, because it's never made sense before that you had to wait till after the Super Bowl to announce that your head coach, who your head coach is. I don't know. I think it should be like the way it is in college, where you can get a new head coach whenever you want a new head coach. I do think this is a step in the right direction, at least.
Yeah, I think the reports at the time, I'm only bringing this example up because it's the first time I remember this kind of thing being a big issue. Mm-hmm. The Patriots were going to play the Packers in Super Bowl 31, the Desmond Howard Super Bowl. Sure, mm-hmm. Little 6-year-old Marcus was jumping, or 5-year-old Marcus was jumping up and down in his underoos at that. But that he was on the phone with the Jets while they're supposed to be preparing, for the Super Bowl. And then it's just become a real issue in recent years, especially with certain coaches not getting hired that people thought should be hired instead of retreads and so on and so forth, which I understand. Just one thing here. I had a little opinion for you. I'd love to know what you think about it. I understand why Urban Meyer got fired. He certainly earned this, right? I know the reports are that they're exploring the for cause, which would make the rest of your contract null and void. That's pretty standard in a lot of contracts. That's not just a head coaching thing. But to root for someone to fail, or to just be on Twitter all day harping on this over and over with multiple tweets, seems like an odd flex to me. Okay, the guy failed. But if you're, I get it. People don't like Urban Meyer. I understand. I really do understand. But if you don't like someone and you're literally gloating in their failure, you're kind of wallowing in the same negativity that person created around themselves. One comment, fine. But literally, I got on Twitter today and it was just all Urban Meyer. That's all it was, story after story. I'm like, guys, haven't we gone over the bar thing and all this other stuff. I've seen the handshake with Mike Vrabel now. The only handshake I can remember seeing this much. Do you remember when Jim Harbaugh and Jim Schwartz? Jim Schwartz was a linebacker for the Cowboys. Jim Schwartz. I told you I was going to do that today.
Right? A hard pat on the back, remember?
Yes. Oh my gosh. NFL Network. Was that like 2012? I want to say.
It was around there. Yeah. That was one of my favorite things ever.
Oh my gosh. We played the crap out of that thing. I told you I'd get a name wrong. I'm going on very low sleep. So I just called the former Lions head coach and a very good defensive coordinator in the NFL, Jim Schwartz, a special teams linebacker for the Cowboys from the mid 90s. I believe he was number 52.
Yeah, he was.
Before Dexter Coakley.
Can I answer your question though?
Sure.
I think it's because there's been so many incidents and because he hasn't been fired until now, right? Like you can go through the list of all the things that he's done in the 11 months that he's been a head coach, and 5 of them deserve to be, just reasons to be fired. And because it took Jacksonville this long, I think people are they're finally releasing all of this anger that they had towards him. I think that's more of what it is than anything else.
Got it. Well, this is going to lead into, of course, a Harrison 30-second health hack at the end of our picks podcast. But we need to get to the picks. Obviously, we're going to have some COVID stuff here that we have to talk about. Cleveland Browns. Why don't we get started? What do we got? What's first?
So I think the best game of the week is tonight on Thursday. It's the Kansas City Chiefs against the Los Angeles Chargers. The winner.
I disagree with your statement right off the top. You like this better than the Saturday night game?
Yeah, because the winner of this game will be leading the AFC West, and that's a big deal to me.
Tacos. Okay.
Chiefs, 3-point favorites on the road in this one.
Not having Chris Jones for this one. Mm-hmm. That's a big loss to me. I know Melvin Ingram, and something that you circled several times on this podcast because you do a good job and I promote you when you do a good job. You just bag on me. But either way, you pointed out that Melvin Ingram has made a real difference with that team. And I agree. But the biggest difference I think he's made is allowing Chris Jones to play inside and just wreak havoc. WREAK.
Sure.
Yeah. I still don't know how to pronounce that word. So that's a big loss to me. I still like Kansas City in this game to cover.
I like Kansas City to cover as well because Rashawn Slater, the rookie left tackle for the Chargers, is out in this game due to COVID. And there's no quarterback in the league that has a higher passer rating discrepancy when pressured versus not when pressured with Justin Herbert. So they won this game last time. The Chargers did. I don't see him winning this one. I like Kansas City as well.
Had some big plays to Mike Williams in that game, and Mike Williams has not been nearly as he's been very quiet compared to early in the season.
Our next game, it's a Saturday afternoon game. It's the Raiders and the Browns. Now, before we even get to the line, there is a ton of guys out for the Browns, and we're not necessarily sure who's exactly out, but no Kevin Stefanski, no Baker Mayfield. It looks like every starter on the offensive line for Cleveland is out. Jarvis Landry is out. I've never seen a line move this much, Elliott, in a week. This game started as Browns 6-point favorites, and now the Raiders are 2-point favorites in this one.
Yeah, they're 2-point favorites at Cleveland. So Vegas, right, saying they're 5 points better, approx. The last thing you said, second to last thing you said, scares me the most. The Browns' offensive line. That's, to me, the headliner here. Because if you've been able to watch the Raiders pass rush this year, I would say the most consistent aspect of the Raiders game this year has been their edge rush. Mm-hmm. And that is not, obviously, you know how I feel about Derek Carr. It's not a knock on him, but I trust them way more than I trust that offense right now without Waller.
Would you like to guess the total here? Because this one's hilarious.
So my first inclination is 39, but I told you, I feel like I've been going 2 points high. I'm going 37.
Yeah, so it started at 48 this week, okay?
Okay.
That's a lot. It's down to 38.5.
Yeah.
So it's not only do we have backup quarterbacks and backup offensive linemen, there's some 40-mile-an-hour winds that we're going to get in this game. It looks like we're going to get a lot of rain. This is just going to be a sloppy game.
I don't like being 1.5 off. I challenge myself to get within a point. That's poor form. Would you still take the under on that?
I would, because it seems like this is going to be like a 17-14 game, right?
Yeah. That's how I feel as well. But I think the better, if you are betting on this game, which I would advise you probably not to, but if you are, I would take the Raiders in this to cover. And yeah, but this would not be my this would not be my preference to bet on.
No, this is the game where, like, if you need to go get some Christmas shopping done with your spouse or your significant other, go do that. Come back for the later game, because this one's much better, right? It's the Patriots and the Colts. Patriots,
love this game.
2.5-point underdogs on the road.
If this game was vanilla pudding, I'd eat it.
Not tapioca?
No. Okay.
Ooh. First game is tapioca, right?
Yeah. Does that say, do you say plus 2.5 or plus 3.5?
Plus 2.5. Didn't
this line move a little bit?
It's moved depending on the site. I've seen it as a pick 'em earlier in the week. It does seem like it's trending in the Colts direction a little bit.
I feel like this game should be a pick 'em.
I kind of feel the same.
How do you feel about the Patriots being an underdog? Granted, this is not a big underdog. I mean, we're talking about less than 3 points here.
I absolutely love that I can get Bill Belichick coming off a bye against a team that he's historically dominated. They've won their last 8 games against the Colts. Like, Bill Belichick just beats this team. I love the Patriots here as a road underdog.
If the Colts win, they win on a last second field goal. They win by 1. I'll take the Patriots on this. Over under on this game. I'm not guessing. I was just asking. 45.5.
Pretty low.
That's pretty low, man.
These are two of the better defenses in the NFL. Obviously, New England number 1. The Colts are number 9. Both teams are going to want to run the ball, basically take the air right out of the football. 23-20 seems like a good score.
You know, I actually like that over-under. I do. I mean, I like it not to bet on. I mean, I think that's a good over-under that Vegas did its job. I say Colts 23-22. There we go. Patriots cover. Colts win.
I like the Patriots outright, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm taking a chance on Frank Reich and company here. Okay, let's go. What's next?
Right. Next one. Panthers 10.5 points. Excuse me, I wrote this wrong. It's Panthers 10.5 point underdogs against the Buffalo Bills this week.
You sure they're not favored?
No, they're not.
Yeah. This is one of those, are the Bills going to beat up on another weak team?
Yep.
I would think yes, given the way the Panthers are playing and the way the Bills lost last week. And I think the Bills are starting to hear the noise here that people don't believe in them anymore. Pressure.
Well, I mean, not only that, these are must-win games now. They can't mess around at all the rest of the way.
Does that half point scare you at all?
Yeah, because I don't trust the Bills. Yeah. I think I do take the Panthers here.
I'm not taking the Panthers. No way.
Did you see the way Josh Allen was walking after that game?
Yeah. What's my over-under on this one?
44.5.
Golly, I was going to say maybe I would take the under, but they went on. See, they've been going low. They've been going very, very low because they know people like me are beating them on that. Ugh. Yeah, I'm staying away from this one. See ya. Where's the red graphic? I want a big fat red graphic on this. I can't believe you're taking the Panthers. You of all people. Speaking of, I need to clean up something. I told you I only missed 1 game last week. One of our followers did point out to me that I did end up going with Carolina. I think I picked Atlanta to cover. I can't remember what the situation, but I picked Carolina by 1 point and they lost. So I only went 12-2 last week. So there we go.
Still very good.
Okay.
All right. Our next
What's
game.
Next?
It's the New York Jets against the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, boy.
This is an Elliott Harrison special. So we got some news in this one, though. Jalen Waddle, the star receiver for the Dolphins, is going to be out.
Star? We're calling him a star.
Do you know he has the 3rd most receptions in the NFL right now?
Okay, receptions. What's he doing with them?
A lot.
What's the yards per catch?
He's like 40% of their passing offense. I think he's been excellent this season.
Okay.
All right,
star.
Jets are 10-point road underdogs. This line has actually moved a little bit. It moved down to 9.5 since the Waddle news, but the Dolphins will be playing without their top 4 running backs in this game, all due to COVID.
No way I would take Miami gambling on this game. I would take the Jets if I were going to gamble on this game, which I wouldn't. But we're going to talk about that on Friday. Little strategy. Miami straight up. I assume you don't have any problem with that, even with the COVID news.
Yeah, I would stay away. It's just that's a huge line for a team that doesn't put up a lot of points, even when they have a healthy Jalen Waddle in a healthy backfield. So stay away.
It's just the hype train on Jalen Waddle. You know who was really good? OJ McDuffie. And you don't hear anything about OJ. I think OJ McDuffie led the league in catches one year. So you got to do it for more than a few weeks, man.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm just saying nobody talks about OJ McDuffie. And
he's really good. He's had a nice season. So
you know what? I'm going to check that. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Get to the next game.
Another game that has moved a ton since this morning. It's the Washington football team against the Philadelphia Eagles. This line started at 7, and that's what I sent our lovely producer, Courtney. Since then, Elliot, it's moved.
Lovely.
I said lovely, not ugly. Just relax.
I know you said lovely. I was, it's a new one.
This one has moved 3 points like in the last 3 hours. Washington is now a 10-point underdog.
Oh, man. What do you think? I have my ideas. What do you think? It's moved.
Well, so the Washington has now put 24 players from their active roster on the COVID list over the last 7 days. You just don't have that depth, including every starting defensive lineman, every backup defensive lineman, 4 of their 5 starters on offense. Terry McLaurin is coming back from a concussion. He might not play. Cam Sims, who caught the touchdown last week against Dallas, he got put on the COVID list this week. Their backup in Kyle Allen on the COVID list. Don't even know if Taylor Heineke is going to be able to play this week because of a knee injury. It's just a lot. It's almost Cam Curl, their safety, who's had a really nice season. He got put on the COVID list today. I have no idea who they're going to put out there to field.
I think there's 2 other factors here. One, Philadelphia coming off a bye.
That helps.
They're rested, because all these teams are dealing with these issues, some worse than others, as we just pointed out with Cleveland. But this was such a late season bye for Miami and Philadelphia. It was so unusual. And that may be a really good thing. I wouldn't think as a team I would want a bye this late in the season, but it actually may work out for Philadelphia, who has designs at least on a wild card. And if the Cowboys stumble, maybe they can have a chance. They still have a game left with the Cowboys in Philadelphia. Also, there's been a lot of faith in the Eagles lately. I've noticed a lot of people, including yourself, think that they are going to hit that 7th wild card spot. I would take the Eagles to cover this. I think this is going to be an ugly, ugly football game, though. And one last thing, I looked up OJ McDuffie. He led the league in catches with 90 one year. Okay, he led the league and nobody talks about him. So the lovely Marcus Mosher, can we just tap the brake? By the way, Courtney, he never tells me I'm lovely, ever, not once. Yeah. So anyway, do you have any problem with me taking the Eagles with this big a line?
No, I think that's fine. I think the Eagles defensive line should absolutely be good.
All that like that, it's fine.
It's fine.
Okay, let's go to the next game.
Next one. It's the Cardinals against the Lions. The Cardinals are 13-point favorites. No DeAndre Hopkins, who's going to miss the rest of the season due to a knee injury. We don't know the status of James Conner. The Lions put TJ Hawkinson on the season-ending IR list today. Who do you like in this one?
I don't like the Cardinals. That's a huge line. I'm not for this team. I'm not. There's no way I would take them for that. This is another game I don't like at all. I'm sorry. This is just not one that I like. I'm going to try to guess the over-under on this because this one's really hard. Gosh, Vegas has been going so low. All right. Then the Lions offense is darn near inept. So this is tough. Okay. I'm going to go with 45.5 on this.
Are you sure?
Yes.
47.5. I know.
I did my 2-point adjustment again, like an idiot. See, yeah. I should have just stuck. Maybe no more 2-point adjustment because I'm getting.
Maybe that was only last week. All right, our next game. It's the Dallas Cowboys against the New York Giants. The Cowboys are 10.5-point road favorites in this one.
Wait, you didn't say if you would you bet on the Cardinals to cover that big a spread?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
I would.
Okay, go ahead. Next game.
Cowboys Giants. Cowboys 10.5-point favorites.
Division game on the road. That's a big line. Now,
see McCarthy guaranteed another win this week.
Oh gosh.
He said, hold on. He didn't technically guarantee. He said, we can't start talking about the playoffs until we win 10 games. So don't ask me about it until next week.
If that line moves to 9.5, I would take the Cowboys. I would not take it in its current incarnation. That half point does scare me. It's a division game. Could I see Dallas winning 24-14? I could.
That's the exact score that I brought down, 24-14. That's really
fun. So, but hey, this is when Vegas does its job. This is what they're supposed to do. Yep. If that moves to 9.5, though, I would take that. Also, the over-under, this should be a low over-under. Dallas's defense has played really well. The Giants' offense is inept, and the Cowboys' offense has looked really bad. Not really bad. I would say stale. That would be the word I would use. The over-under for this should absolutely be under 45. I would even go so far as to say like 42.5, but I may be a little low there.
44.5. A couple things to note in this game. Giants are going to be without Adoree Jackson, their number 2 cornerback, Xavier McKinney, one of their safeties, Aaron Robinson, their nickel corner, out with this game due to COVID. The Cowboys put up 44 in the last game. There's just a chance that they just kind of steamroll this team and they're getting a lot of turnovers, and that's how the over hits. I just don't see the Giants offense putting up like 24 points and the Cowboys winning 27-24 and the over hitting that way. It's probably not going to happen.
Games can be a little bit unpredictable, though. December in New York, or in that area of the country. So that is one thing to consider. A few years ago, when the Andy Dalton win out there was pretty high scoring, though, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
At New York.
You're saying the Week 17 game?
Yes.
Yeah, the Giants scored quite a bit in that game. Dallas did not.
That was a little. Never mind. Clearly didn't pick that up. I'm just doing a little dig. Okay, let's go. What's next?
Titans against the Steelers. Titans 2-point road favorites in this game.
Yeah. Do you blame Vegas for making the Titans favorite? I don't. I know you're taking Pittsburgh, so go ahead and explain to everyone why you're taking Pittsburgh, and go ahead and then do your reverse jinx.
Mike Tomlin, 10 days rest. Absolutely, Pittsburgh needs this game to kind of stay alive in the AFC North hunt. Tennessee without A.J. Brown, without Derrick Henry, still missing a lot of guys in their secondary. I just think Pittsburgh gets a win at home that they desperately need. They just need this game a lot more than Tennessee does.
I'm with you on this, actually. I think this is not a great matchup for the Titans. Ryan Tannehill was better last week, but this has been the worst, I would say, of his 3 years in Tennessee, despite their record.
But and it's understandable, though, right? They don't really have a running game. His 2 receivers have basically missed the entire season. It's understandable why he's struggling. Absolutely. And Pittsburgh does really, really need this game in the playoff picture, not just as a wild card, but they can still win the division. So a lot riding on that. This is another game that I don't really like it to be a very high total. This got to be like last week where there's a bunch of low totals. But I keep doing my 2-point adjustment. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to have you tell me this one because my brain hurts. 43.
Yeah, I knew it'd be low again. Boy, they're really. It's like you said. So many people hit them with the low totals early in the year. They have corrected big time.
All right, now if there's ever been an Elliott Harrison special, it's this next one.
Oh, no.
It is the Houston Texans against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Texans, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
The Texans are 4-point underdogs. In fact, depending on the site, you can get them as 5-point underdogs. That line has actually moved up in favor of Jacksonville since Urban Meyer's been fired.
Well, I think there's several reasons for that. I think one is the Texans' decision to evaluate to go with Davis Mills would play into it.
It's a very kind way to say to tank, but go ahead.
Okay. Number 2. There was the story about how Trevor Lawrence goes through all of his interceptions, talks about what went wrong. And I'm sure every quarterback does that. But what it was basically showing is like, look, this guy's doing everything he can in spite of the coaching. So with different people there and also a different feeling in the building, could I see Jacksonville winning by a touchdown? Absolutely. Put James Robinson on the field and give that man 20 to 25 carries.
I agree. I like Jacksonville this week. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a big day. I know he struggled over the last 5 or 6 weeks. This just seems like a game where Jacksonville comes out absolutely firing, trying to play their best game of the season, and I think they win.
And there have been times I think their defense has been pretty decent, Marcus. It's really been their offense that keeps them on the field.
they'll play well in this game on defense. Like Davis Mills is not going to scare them. I think they'll be okay. All right, let's move on. The next one, it's the Cincinnati Bengals against Denver Broncos. And man, we have a hard time even keeping up with this COVID news because I just looked on Twitter about 2 seconds ago, and the Bengals just put Riley Reif, the right tackle, on the COVID tackle reserve, and then Chidobe Awuzie, their number one cornerback on the COVID list, which is big against a team that has 3 really good receivers.
Yeah, you don't want to be putting your right tackle and corner on the COVID list just a couple of days before the game. This is man, oh man. But the Bengals are a good football team. Oh.
Bengals are 2.5-point road underdogs in this game.
I get it. And the Broncos defense has played really well, Marcus, but it is really hard to put faith. And this is not hating on Teddy Bridgewater, but that offense, he's okay, but that offense, that's all they are, is okay. And Cortland Sutton has just not delivered. Yes. So how do you pick the Broncos in this game with any confidence? I mean, it have to be solely based on the way the defense is playing and the fact that they're at home.
And that's why I'm picking the Broncos here. I think they're going to be able to run the ball against Cincinnati. We'll see about the status of Trey Hendrickson, who's been just fantastic over this last season for the Bengals. He's dealing with back spasms. It's because the Broncos are at home. That's really all it is for me. That's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you on this. I think, doggone it, it's hard.
It's really frustrating because I think the Bengals, if they could get healthy and just stay out of their own way a little bit, they might be like the 3rd or 4th best team in the whole AFC. It's just little things like this are keeping them from maybe even making the playoffs this year.
You know what? I'm going to take the Bengals in the upset. I'm going to put some faith in this team. I'm going to give them the win by a field goal. I do like the Broncos defense, the way they're playing. By the way, opposing quarterbacks against the Broncos, 16 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. I mean, in today's game, that's a heck of a ratio for your defense. They're allowing an 80.3 passer rating. 80.3 used to be average. That's way below average now. I say all that, but I'm putting faith in the Bengals after that tough loss.
I really want the Bengals to make the playoffs because I want good quarterback matchups in the AFC playoffs. And like if the Bengals could win the AFC North and we could get Herbert and Burrow again in the first round, like that would be so much fun. So I'm really rooting for the Bengals to do it. I have my doubts.
You know who needs to play his tail off? Joe Mixon.
He's going to have a hard day running, but yeah, I agree with you.
That's who needs to play his tail off.
All right, next one, Falcons and 49ers. Falcons 9-point road underdogs.
I'm going to take the 49ers on this. Take the 49ers by 10. I think this is not a good day for Atlanta's offense at all. I don't see Atlanta scoring more than 14 points in this game. This is another game that 24-14 sounds about right. Give me 23-10. Any problem with this?
I think you're a little low. I think the 49ers are just going to run away from this game. Whenever the Falcons have played a good team, they've just gotten destroyed. This game is at San Francisco. Kittle's healthy. Deebo Samuel's healthy. It seems like this is going to be like a 33-13 game.
I was just going to ask you, let's say it's 30-10. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Over under on this game, what, 45?
46. Yep.
So 33-13, they're literally right what you're saying. Is that why you picked that score?
No, yes. I honestly didn't even look, but that's what you should do when you do these, right?
Yeah.
You should kind of have a score in mind and then go look at the total.
I would take the under on this and San Francisco to win. Okay.
I think I agree with you. It's the Green Bay Packers against the Baltimore Ravens. We've seen some line movement on this one as well.
Yeah, of course.
Started at 5.5 for the Packers, and the Packers favored, starting to move up to 6.5. No Lamar Jackson at practice yesterday or today, starting to see like he won't play. The Packers got their own injury problems. Kenny Clark, their Pro Bowl defensive tackle, out due to COVID. I'm just not sure it's going to matter.
Yeah, this is a tricky one depending on your belief in Lamar Jackson. I would not get too sucked into Lamar Jackson not practicing. I'm old enough to remember Steve McNair not practicing almost the entire season he won the MVP. He was that banged up. So, John Harbaugh knows what he has in Lamar. You can see the way he carries himself around him. He's very much a player friendly there. And if Lamar doesn't practice and then game time's ready to go, guess what? Lamar's going to be out there. So, and that could be the case the rest of the season, Marcus. This is an ankle sprain. It's not just going to magically disappear.
It's why, though, I would not play him this week, though. This is a game you probably were going to lose with Lamar anyway. So let Tyler Huntley.
But do you lose by this many points at home?
I mean, does it really matter?
Well, sure. If you're gambling on the game, of course it matters. Yeah.
I'm saying
I mean, yes, it does.
I'm saying for the Ravens' sake, though,
no, you think the Ravens aren't going to make the playoffs.
Right, but the Ravens can't think that like that. They got to figure they need to win 2 more games. If we can give Lamar an entire week off, let Tyler Huntley play, who hasn't been terrible, and then let's make a run over the last 3 weeks. I think that makes a lot of sense. So
let's get to the pudding here. The Packers win by a touchdown.
Yes.
I'm with you. I was just trying to put my finger down. Although I will say, Kenny Clark, good football player. People see those kind of, that kind of news and like, yeah, whatever. It doesn't make a difference to my fantasy team or whatever. Yeah, it kind of does.
I would say if Lamar was playing, though. If Lamar was playing, it would be a bigger deal, right? Because then they might really struggle to stop the run. I just don't know if it's that big of a deal this week.
Way to stomp on my defensive lineman take and go right back to the quarterbacks.
Though. No,
play the hits. No, just play the hits, Marcus. That's fine. Whatever.
Kenny Clark is very, very good. All right. Yeah. Another game.
You've already ruined the moment. Go ahead.
Another game with some huge COVID things going on. It's the Seattle Seahawks against the Los Angeles Rams. Literally a minute ago, the Seahawks put Tyler Lockett on the COVID reserve list.
Oh, man. And I like that guy a lot. I like him more than the other guy.
Yeah. So, no,
I know you don't.
I love Tyler Lockett. No Odell for the Rams. No Tyler Lockett for the Seahawks. We'll see if Jalen Ramsey is activated in time for this game. But as of right now, Seattle is 4.5-point underdogs on the road.
And yes, I know who the other guy is. In case you're listening out there, I just refuse. I hear this guy's name so much. It's almost like calling Jalen Waddle a star. DK Metcalf. I've got DK Metcalf fatigue. Is that okay? Sure. And here I am now. I'm saying his name again. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey, because if Ramsey plays and then you have no Lockett on the other side, I actually think that this line is too low. I would take the Rams all day on this.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just don't see any way that Seattle's going to be able to score enough points without Tyler Lockett. That's really like Matt Stafford's version of Cooper Kupp, right? Like just a guy that he absolutely relies on big downs. The Seahawks offense wasn't good anyways without Tyler Lockett. It's really not good. All right. Sunday Night Football. It's the New Orleans Saints against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Saints 11-point road underdogs, and they've won the last 3 meetings during the regular season.
That's too high. I know why they're doing this. They didn't look sterling early in the game. Talk about when I say the Saints against the Jets, and then they turned it on. Taysom Hill's finger injury isn't going away. He's going to play with that the rest of the year. But this is a really good defense, man, with New Orleans. They have good personnel. You and I have talked about this on the show a lot. That is a big line. If it comes down and it goes down to under 10, okay, then I would consider taking Tampa, similar to the Cowboys Giants. And look, I'm starting to sound like you. Hey guys, shop around, check. This line's had a lot of movement. I would look at it on Friday. This is one I would look at. So if we brought this line down, and I know you love to do teaser talk, I think this would be a great candidate, by the way. How far would this line need to come down? Because I know you're not taking Tampa Bay at over 11. I know you're not doing it.
I'm not doing that because there's just too much backdoor coverage.
I could predict your picks at this point. If this were Pittsburgh, no, go ahead.
I think if we drop it down 6 points, I think we're fine, right? I just think Tampa Bay wins by a touchdown. I don't know if they win by basically 2 touchdowns, right?
Yeah, I'm taking the Saints. This is pretty easy for me. I think Tampa Bay wins, but that line needs to come down.
Okay. Our last game, it's the Minnesota Vikings against the Chicago Bears. What a game to stay up for on Monday night. The Vikings 4.5-point road favorites.
So you can either take the team that sometimes looks worse than the Bears, who are awful, or take the team that is awful. That's your choice here. Division game. I would love to say the Vikings have turned a corner and they're going to run the football and Kirk Cousins isn't going to be maddeningly. I always have a hard time saying that word, and so I keep trying. I stick with it. Division road game, Marcus. It's not that easy. On paper, you say, yeah, the Vikings are going to win by a touchdown all day. I don't know that you can say that this easily, especially with some of the potential we saw from the Bears last week. What do you think?
I'm taking the Vikings to win this one. The Bears defense is just so banged up right now with no Khalil Mack. They have one guy that can rush the passer and Robert Quinn, and that's about it. The secondary is awful. Justin Jefferson is on an absolute tear right now. I like the Vikings to win by a touchdown here. I do.
You know, every time I go through a long spiel about something and I say, Marcus, what do you think? And I'm always expecting you'll come back with, well, you know, Elliot, I kind of see what you're saying, but I would say this. You always just say, yeah, that's cool. I'm taking the Vikings. I mean, you don't even say, yeah, that's cool. You don't even say, yeah, that's cool. You're just like, yeah, I'm taking the Vikings. Like I just went through this whole litany. Yeah, you know.
I was looking at our potential teaser for this week, to be honest. So,
yeah, how did the Bears win this game? How do they win this game? They win on special teams, right?
And big plays by Justin Fields, right? Because I don't think they're going to sustain a lot of offense, right? It's going to have to be like a 60-yard bomb to Darnell Mooney or a sweep to Jakeem Grant that goes 50 yards and all of a sudden you're in field goal range. That kind of stuff, right?
I would not take the Vikings to cover this. If it came down a little bit, I would. This is a stay away for me, for sure. You've said it many times. Division road games are squirrely.
Yeah.
Look what happened Dallas at Washington. Dallas dominated that game on defense, right? Dominated. And then what happened? You know, that kind of stuff happens all the time. We just talked about that. Cowboys Giants. The line was 2. Now, this is not a huge line, granted. Over under on this game. It's got to be tough to do because the Bears offense did show signs of life. The Vikings have looked good offensively.
Yeah.
This is usually a knuckleball of a game, but I think Vegas would have had to raise their over-under for this a little bit into the higher 40s.
44. So this might be a good game to take the over on. Now,
I think go ahead.
I will say, because it's in Chicago, you might want to check the weather ahead of time.
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
Sometimes these sports books put these ones low, just not knowing what the weather's going to look like 2 or 3 days in advance. So just keep an eye on that.
Well, I think that's good advice, actually. Check the weather. Check the weather on Friday. If you want to lay some money down. I don't like the line here. Marcus does. But, Marcus, would you be opposed to laying the over here if it turns out it's going to be 68 and sunny?
Yeah, I love that. I think that's fine with me. Because I just think Minnesota's offense – they're really balanced right now, and they have a hard time not scoring 27 points a week. So could this be a 27-20 game? Sure, why not?
I see the Bears getting a block field goal for a touchdown. I just see it. Couple of Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Justin Fields get a couple of crazy plays. Next thing you know, the Bears have 21 points, right?
Yep.
So let's say the Vikings win, like you think they are, by 5 points or more. So they win by a touchdown. 28-21, you're at 49, you're in the over, you're good. That's where I would go with this game. Okay, let's talk about what your teaser is for this week.
Yeah. So I think you're going to like this one.
You hit it last week, by the way, we should say. You did a nice job.
Thank you. So let's go through a couple of the ones we really like. We talked about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 11's too many, but if we tease it down to 5, so all the Bucs have to do is by 5, we both like that, right?
With you.
I like the Packers to win outright. I like them to win. I like them to cover. So if I can get them down to plus a half a point, basically just have to win, I like that. And then the Patriots. I think that game is going to be close. I don't think there's going to be points that are going to be scored. I like the Patriots to win outright. So if I can move that line to plus 8.5, I think that's a great bet. So just to recap, we've got the Bucs -5, the Packers to win outright, and the Patriots plus 8. You bet $100, you win $160. I think that was pretty good.
Yeah, I like that a lot, actually. And I told you did a nice job. You need to make up for your horrific Steelers picks this year. So,
and if you want to add the Steelers in there, listen, if you want to add the Steelers in there, we can do that as well, because the Steelers are absolutely going to win this week. So it's a lock.
Okay.
It's a lock.
So here, so can I give you 3 of my ideas for my $10,000 pick? And I don't have to pick. I haven't picked a $10,000 pick every week. I think I'm 6-2 on the year for it. But this is what I'm thinking. And let's see what you guys out there think. Tweet me if you want. And Marcus, I'd like to know, obviously, what you think. So the first one I was thinking is taking the Rams to cover against the Seahawks.
Okay.
Your teaser. I love your teaser. This is my favorite teaser you've done yet, and I didn't even need my compass and protractor. I really am leaning, though, 49ers to cover against the Falcons. So of those three, what are you thinking?
I got a different one for you.
Okay.
So when you do your $10,000 bet, it's usually on a spread. However, you don't necessarily have to do that. You could just do a money line that you love. Like you just pick a team to win. Mm-hmm. What do you like about the idea of picking just the Packers to win outright? $10,000 would net you $4,000 in profit.
What's my Falcons line again? Exactly.
That one's 9.5.
Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't there a half point?
Do you feel more comfortable in the 49ers covering that spread or the Packers winning outright?
I feel about equally comfortable, and I can win more with the 49ers.
Thing, right?
Yeah. So I like your idea. To be honest with you, I like your teaser idea better because you can win more money, and you're essentially saying the same thing in your teaser idea, right? Because you're taking the Packers line down to what, half point? I forgot.
They just have to win. Yep.
Yeah.
Can I give you another bet?
Sure. You really don't like me leaning towards the 49ers,
No, I do. We're going to go back to that game.
Okay.
So on most sports books now, they allow you to pick an alternate line. Okay. Would you take the 49ers to minus 6.5 to win $6,500? So they have to win by a touchdown.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
You lose a little bit of money. You're losing, about $2,000 on your $10,000 bet, but this is, I feel, way more likely.
I feel it's way more likely, but I still like my bet.
Okay. I love it. I love the bold call there. That's great. That's fantastic.
Any other games that maybe I'm not considering? So I like the 49ers over the Falcons to cover that spread more than any of these others. Or more than the ones that we just discussed. Is there anyone that maybe I didn't consider here?
I'm not just saying this, but this is a good spot for Pittsburgh this week for all the reasons that we mentioned. Tomlin has been really, really good as a home underdog throughout his career. Like he knows how to get his team up for these type of games. Their backs are against the wall. They really can't afford to lose. I think there's just a lot of value on Pittsburgh this week.
A couple of other things worth considering. The Raiders, Browns under. Certainly. How are they going to score points in that game? If the Cowboy line would just come down a little bit.
You're saying like that 8?
Yeah. Or no, what was it? 10.5?
10.5. You're thinking like 9.5 then, right?
Yes. If it would just come down a little bit. But the other one here, man, that I think is really interesting to lay some serious money down on, is odd as it is to say, Jacksonville.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Can we run through all the games really quickly?
Yeah.
All right. Starting on
Thursday. I'll decide when we're done. Okay.
Chiefs, Chargers. We both like the Chiefs to cover, and obviously the Chiefs to win outright. Raiders, Browns. We both like the Raiders to win and cover, although we really like the under more than anything else, right? Mm-hmm. Colts, Patriots. I like the Patriots to win and cover. You like the Colts to win, but the Patriots to cover. Panthers, Bills. I like the Panthers to cover. You like the Bills to cover, and we both like the Bills to win. Jets, Dolphins. I think you and I are both just staying away from that one, right?
Yeah, Dolphins to win outright.
To win outright. Washington against Philadelphia. Washington 9.5-point underdogs. We probably still like the Eagles here to cover that spread.
Yep.
Cardinals, Lions. I like the Cardinals to cover the 13-point spread and win. You're staying away from the spread, but picking the Cardinals.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Cowboys, Giants. We both like the Cowboys to win outright, but maybe the Giants to cover at that number. If it comes down a little bit, we would take the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. Titans -2 against the Steelers. We both like the Steelers to win and to cover that spread. Texans, Jags. We both like the Jags to win and cover. Bengals, Broncos. I like the Broncos to win and cover. You like the Bengals in that one as well, correct?
Yes. That's right.
You're right. I really hope you're right. Falcons 49ers, that's a 9-point spread. I like the 49ers to cover, as do you. Packers Ravens, we both like the Packers to win and cover. Seahawks Rams, we like the Rams to win and cover. Saints Bucks, it's a spread that we're staying away from, but we both like the Bucks to win. And then Vikings Bears, I like the Vikings, and I think you're a little bit more hesitant, but you're taking the Vikings to win.
Yes. But I like the over in that game, providing you do what Marcus recommended and check the weather conditions on that. I think that was too low. Excuse me. I really like your idea of picking Green Bay to just win outright. I do like it. It's just you're not winning as much money, man.
You don't have to win all your money in 1 week, though. Just
that's a good point.
Bankroll.
So you think I should just do that with the 49ers this week and just pick them to win and make?
Although the money, so if you bet on them just to win outright, let's say you do your $10,000.
It's only going to be about $2,000.
It's going to be $2,000. Where if you do that for the Packers in a game that we both think the Packers are going to win, you're making about $4,000.
Okay, I'm going to allow you to make this call for me. I am going to allow you to make the call for once. Every time I've done this, just about, I've lost.
I would take the 49ers straight to the money line.
I better take the Packers, Courtney. What am I, 5-0? Well, I'm only 5-0 when I go against your locks.
You like both
this was not your lock.
No. This
is my money, bud.
Let's just say this. I think the Ravens have a better path to victory than the Falcons do, right? Like the Ravens, what they could do is turn this into a defensive game. It's a game where Justin Tucker's making a bunch of long field goals and they hang around and make a play at the end.
I'm taking the 49ers to cover. I don't want to hear any more of your analysis. I've had enough.
All right. Good. That is it. That's our show today. We got a Harrison health hack before we go.
That's what you do to me. Like literally, I'll say, look, I don't like the corners against their receivers in this game. I don't, the offensive line is a little bit of a concern. No, I'll do this. And then I'll say, Marcus, what do you think about that? Yeah, I'm taking the 49ers.
That works for me. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I know it does. Here's my health hack. And this is really important, man. This is so important. It's in regards to Urban Meyer. I understand, like I said, I understand all the criticism of him, and the guy's fired. It's over. It's done with. New day. I think it'd be great if they hired Byron Leftwich. Mm-hmm. But if you're spending your day loving the fact that this guy got fired, I understand the first moment you're like, that guy serves him right. But if you're taking it any farther than that, you're spending your good energy on nothing but negative energy. And I used to work with a guy. He used to constantly worry about what I was doing, what other people were doing, like what opportunities they were getting. And if that guy would have just spent 50% of the energy he spent either hoping that one of us didn't get a gig he wanted, if he just spent 50% of that in creating his own content, he would have been a bigger star than all of us, or he could have been at least really, really good. But instead, he spent so much time doing that. And so that's my advice to you is, hey, if somebody you can't stand loses their job or whatever, and it feels good because they treated you bad, fine. Allow yourself 15 seconds, all right? But then brush your teeth, move on, and think about what you can do productive, because it'll be a lot better for you in the long run. That's my thought.
I don't even have anything witty to say. Or
I was hoping you'd say, yeah. I take the 49ers. That would have been perfect. Like, yeah,
I like the Steelers +2 this week, baby.
Yeah, you just I'm taking the Vikings. Man, if only I could have been you for just a second. Hey, good stuff. Thanks for going over all the COVID stuff, because I think it's important. Mm-hmm. Also, guys, we're going to talk tomorrow about gambling strategy, but I just want to say that if you are out there gambling, when we say that you could stay away from games, that's because we really don't have a great read on the situation, not because we don't know football, because those teams don't have a read. You don't know who's going to play and who's not going to play. So we're not trying to be curmudgeon-y. It says, hey, be careful with your money, right? Go with what you know. And so a lot of these games, like especially like take Lamar Jackson, Tyler Huntley's played pretty well. We don't know if he's going to play or not. Thursday night games are always unpredictable. The Browns game is ridiculous at this point. Any other I'm not thinking of right off the top of my head that it just.
I think you got it. Yep.
Just walk away. Walk away. I think that Bengals Broncos game is going to be really tough. Tough. I'm actually okay. You make fun of me. I'm going to watch definitely a good portion of that.
No, that's a good game. That's one of the ones I'm most excited to watch this weekend. Really quick story before I go.
Yeah.
I get maybe this is a question for you. So I'm going to a Christmas party on Sunday.
Is this where you're in the nativity scene?
No, that's for tonight.
Okay.
So I'm not going to have access to my Sunday ticket and all that kind of stuff. So I've got to just watch the local games, which I've already looked at. It's absolutely awful. So what's the strategy here? Do I try to watch games on my phone? Do I just try to enjoy being with my family, or is that just not the way it works when you're a fan of football?
Oh man, this is a loaded question. What's your primary option?
It's Bills Panthers is actually the only game that's on during the 1 o'clock slate, and then the 4 o'clock slate, I believe it's the Broncos Bengals. Yeah, That's
a good game, man.
I'm just gonna watch the games on my phone. I've already decided.
Hold on. Can I give you one recommendation just to try it once? The guys over at Sirius do a great job on Sundays. If you've never listened to the Sunday Drive on Sirius, this might be the week to do it. I know you like to watch, and I get it. I think it's Steve Torrey and Bill Lekis is who does it. I love those guys. They do a great job. They give you context. They keep tabs on every game. It's exciting. You have the Sirius XM app?
Yeah, that's going to be great. Me sitting in my car during the holiday party that I'll be at. That's going to go over really well.
Oh, no, the app on your phone.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll have that available to me, but
so here's what you do. Just hold on, okay? Let me solve this for you. You put the phone in your pocket, just put one earpiece in, I'm sure you have the Bluetooth stuff, so nobody will even know. And you're an earring guy anyway, so it'll just look like you have an earring. And listen to the games in one ear. Did you ever see the Best of Times with Kurt Russell and Robin Williams, where they replay the high school game?
Yeah.
And they get in trouble with their wives because they're supposed to be having a sit-down romantic dinner, like double date. And Kurt Russell or Robin Williams angled the Falcons-Vikings Monday night game just perfectly so only they could see it and their wives wouldn't know they were watching. Can you do something like that?
Well, the good news is I've watched all these games before at these holiday parties, so they just know that I'm going to be into it, and they don't expect anything like more from me than a couple like grunts and mumbles every like 20 or 30 minutes. So
that sounded awkward. I just want to say that sounded really awkward.
It'll be fine. I'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good luck with Panthers Bills. We'll talk some strategy tomorrow, and whatever else you want to talk about. But I think we should wrap it up for here. He is at Marcus Mosher. I am at Harrison NFL. We pick games every Thursday. We did it early today. Enjoy. We'll see all you guys later. Bye-bye.